East Rutherford, Odell Beckham Jr.'s eventual contract extension with the Giants was never going to be simple. The broken ankle and whatever else Beckham suffered in Sunday's 27-22 loss to the Chargers, one that almost assuredly will end his season after a likely surgical procedure, has made things even more complicated as the wide receiver pursues the richest deal at his position in NFL history, and, in his mind, even more than that. Here's what we know for sure: in the wake of Beckham's devastating injury, he's going to make about $8.5 million next year, no matter what. After that is anyone's guess. Beckham's $8.459 million scheduled salary for 2018, the Giants exercised his fifth-year option in April, is guaranteed for injury. Beckham should make a full recovery in time for next season, according to injury expert Dr. David Joe, but he has protection if he does not. Then he'll be set for free agency. Or not. Or, well, let's just break it down point by point. Beckham's worst nightmare has been realized. Beckham elected not to hold out when training camp started, even though his OTA's stay away made it crystal clear he wasn't pleased with his well below market value deal. Beckham will make just $1.8 million in 2017. He showed up to work instead, knowing the injury risk he was assuming. That risk was only hammered home further when he suffered his preseason ankle injury against the Browns. That near miss led to reports Beckham was considering a massive insurance policy, but they petered out, and it was never reported he actually bought one. Whether he moved on one or didn't, it's unlikely it could have all been wrapped up by now, when he's actually suffered a significant injury that will sideline him for a while. This could certainly cost OBJ. Will he be the same player post-injury? A full recovery may be a near guarantee from a medical standpoint, but that doesn't mean he'll be 100% of the dynamic force he was before the injury. If he's not, the money won't be the same. Even if Beckham does come back as good as ever, the Giants may force him to prove it over the long haul of a season before they're willing to talk about an extension. That will only open the door to more injury risks. The more injuries a player suffers, the murkier his future becomes. The Giants have more leverage. The team already held all the cards once Beckham showed up for minicamp, and went on record about his lack of belief in holdouts. The Giants already had Beckham under contract through 2018 at a team-friendly rate, and basically controlled his rights through 2021 based on the current parameters of the NFL franchise tag system. No one expected them to drag things out that long, though. It was anticipated the Giants would get something done with Beckham this coming offseason, if not sooner. The injury now gives the Giants a perfect excuse to kick the can down the road until after next season. Or do they? Team president and CEO John Mara may come to regret those Beckham love fests he staged before the season. The dog peeing incident a few weeks ago enraged Mara to the point he made a rare in-season public comment on a football matter before calling Beckham and maybe Ben McAdoo into his office for a meeting. It's hard to say that kerfuffle cancels out Mara's gushing words in the months prior. Mara more or less came out and told the world he wants Beckham to be a Giant for life and he's willing to pay whatever it costs at some point, even though maturity has been an issue for the wideout, thanks in part to the organization's enabling. It was a curious tactic at the time by Mara, who seemingly handed off some of his leverage while cutting general manager Jerry Reese's legs out from under him, after Reese tried to instill public discipline after the Miami affair. It's even more questionable now. Doing right by OBJ, Mara was talking out of both sides of his mouth earlier this year when it came to Beckham's deal. On one side, he was saying Beckham had nothing left to prove, and should be paid a likely record-setting deal. On the other, Mara was pushing off this deal to an unspecified time for unspecified reasons, as if his nice words should keep Beckham fulfilled while he waited for Mara to begin negotiations, much less pay him fair compensation after he wildly outperformed his rookie deal. It might be time for Mara to put his money where his mouth is. Beckham did right by the Giants. He didn't hold out, and he played football. Now, he has suffered a significant injury. The Giants aren't going to give him a long-term deal until he recovers and proves he is still an elite player, but there could be precedent in how the Giants handled the Jason Pierre-Paul situation that works in Beckham's favor. Do the Giants, in a show of good faith, give Beckham a pay raise in 2018? Or offer him a short-term extension, maybe 1 year with $10 to $15 million in new cash, to tide him over? Unlikely, but possible. Bottom line, Beckham will